Center worldwide, where we believe there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and guess what? We can use it. We are using it. We just absolutely acknowledge this energy that is within us, that we have made the longest journey on the planet, the 18-inch journey from the head to the heart. And today we're going to talk about balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies of the universe. That it has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with you showed up on the planet as a woman or you showed up as a man. It's within us. It's a polarity, which actually, and I love Joseph Campbell said, it's the unity in the pairs of opposites. It's the light, it's the dark. It's the energy of soft and hard. It's the energy that allows us to be in the world but not of it. So when we look at the divine feminine, we are looking at the energy of love, of heart. We are looking at the energy of collaboration. We are looking at the energy of allowing ourselves to see both sides of the coin. That's the feminine energy. It's the right hemisphere of the brain. The masculine hemisphere is the logical, rational part of us that gets the job done, puts the words with the faith, action with intention, and absolutely puts it out there. And what we've been going through in our country, and it's no big secret, is that we have been out of balance. And when we have been out of balance, and you know, the universe just created that static because it's so, right? It's like we always get confirmation whenever we're putting something out there that's true and resonant within us, that there's a lot of out of balance masculine energy. And it's interesting, the Dalai Lama said that it's the women of the world that are going to create peace. But truthfully, it's all of us that have accessed our feminine side. Because in the 40 years, almost, of my ministry, I've had to access a lot of my masculine energy to get the job done, to see the whole picture, to move beyond. And in the counseling session, that's where I access the feminine, where I listen and without judgment, and I let the person just be where they need to be. And I did years of pastoral counseling and psychological counseling. And when I taught at the university, I taught self-image psychology, and I've heard it all, believe me, I've heard it all. And interestingly enough, that when we're out of balance within ourselves, we've got this stress going on, and we're just, trying so hard, and nothing else to get done. That's out of balance masculine energy. And then, the feminine energy out of balance is so spiritually minded, it's of no earthly good. Everything, I'm going to meditate, maybe for the week, maybe for the year, and not get anything done. So meditation is to center us so that we can be in the world, but not of it. And what that means is, yes, we're in the world, we're getting the job done, we're going to and fro, we're interacting. There's a transmission of energy here. And if we want to get the job done, then we access that masculine energy that allows us to see the thing rationally, to really get the whole picture in a way that serves all. So it's interesting that ancient ones, they didn't do anything unless they thought about how it affected the seventh generation. So when we look at our out-of-balance masculine energy and the wars that have gone on, and throughout the whole world, the warring, that whole energy. But I'm aware that when Mother Teresa went, she called a truce on Christmas Day when she went through Sarajevo, on her way to the orphanage, to be with those children that needed care. And she made a declaration. And she and her little 5 sisters of charity marching through a war zone that was full of bombs and bullets and you name it. She marched through. And you know what? There was a ceasefire. There wasn't a shot fired. She immobilized that whole war on Christmas Day because she knew that those children needed to be cared for, to be loved, to be held to her breast. And I love that because the Earth Mother is, that energy of love. Sky Father allows us to see the expansiveness of it, to look at the native way. I'm not going to do anything unless I think about how is this going to affect unto the 7th generation. And we do a lot of things for convenience. We had a beautiful brunch at Kay Shriver's, our in-house photographer and in-house, I call her my favorite mystic. She does palmistry, does many things. And she does beautiful photography, from the heart photography. And she had this delicious soup that she made. I said, oh, I love this soup. She said, take some. And she was looking for a glass jar. She said, I'm just not doing plastic anymore. I'm just doing glass, for the environment. I go, oh, I'm not there yet. I'm still using my Tupperware. Okay, this is just like the universe is giving us a little tap on the shoulder. So there are like little things that we can do that are really very simple. And energetically, we don't need those chemicals from the plastic anyway, especially not to put it in the microwave. If you have a microwave, I still do. And, it's convection, and I bless it when I use it. But there are times that, we're in the world, we're doing our thing, we're doing the best we can at any given moment, and we're growing, evolving. It is an evolution revolution as far as energetic to train ourselves to do things differently, that we can all be teachable, that we can all raise our consciousness to a place of conscious languaging. That which we utter, what? Becomes the outer. Yes, good student. That which we utter becomes the outer, because it's a word picture. So when we make that declaration, and I brought my sage, we're going to do saging afterward, and I love this rose that Dr. Basha gave me for my 70th birthday that we had in this room last July. We're going to do saging. And the saging, the ancient ones, on the summer solstice, where we've called in the angels, the archangels, where we have acknowledged the finned ones below, the winged ones above, grandfather, sun, grandmother, moon, the creepy crawlies that cleanse and purify the earth mother, the rock people that share their sermons and stones, all those petroglyphs and hieroglyphs that are, I've gone into some caves in South Africa, actually climbed up that thing, and I was just amazed at the wonderful artwork that's on these caves. I've done a lot of traveling in my life. I love other cultures, and I love that ground of being, of oneness. That when Mother Teresa said, ah, yes, a smile brings peace. It moves to, if I don't understand the language, you smile. And a smile is love. A smile is peace. And when we take the sacred sage, and the ancient ones believe this is a purification process from the Earth Mother. So when we sage ourselves, we are calling in the ancient ones. We are calling in the angels, the archangels, and all enlightened beings to cleanse, purify, harmonize, balance, attune, and heighten the energy field. We're saging for our community. There's a lot going on in the government with our mayor. I love our mayor. He made a mistake. You know what? Let they who are without sin cast the first stone. Right? So energetically, we have all fallen short of the glory of God. And that statement in the Bible, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, means all have made mistakes. Who in here has not made a mistake? Because if you haven't, come in and take my place. Right? All have made mistakes and fallen short of their true self-image. Every one of us. And what's so great about our way of life? We pick ourselves up, we brush ourselves off, and we keep on keeping on. It's the evolution revolution. We resolve to evolve. Past that, forgiving ourselves, not flagellating ourselves and beating ourselves up about it. We learned. Yeah, maybe it was a difficult learning. But the truth is, when we learn it, we don't have to repeat it. So when we sage, we are saging for our community here in Palm Springs. We are saging for our nation and all what went on in South Carolina. We are saging and purifying those energies of hurt that strike out to their fellow man. We are embracing even those. And when the river, remember that whole thing about, it was the Green River Killer, and he was a serial killer? And I remember that father. And talk about a masculine energy of a father on this Father's Day that stood up there and he said, hating you would not bring back my daughter. So I resolved to forgive you, thereby lifting my daughter in the arms of love and knowing that she is safe now, that she is with her God. I sobbed through that whole declaration that he made in the court. And I thought, this is what we teach. This is the energy that draws the larger circle. He drew a circle that shut me out. That love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that took him in. Tremendous capacity of love. No, I'm not going to hate you. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to love you. It's not going to bring, hating you is not going to bring back my daughter. So we sage for the whole nation. We sage for our global community. We sage for each other. We cleanse, purify, harmonize, balance, attune, and heighten the energy field. And that feminine energy loves to hug. So I feel like our guys have their feminine side handled. The best huggers on the planet are right here. And if you need to be hugged, you come to Interfaith Spiritual Center worldwide, because we are the best huggers on the planet, aren't we? The hugs strengthen the immune system, it lifts the energy, it allows us to feel our oneness beyond it all. And that hug is so beautiful, and it hugged in every language. It's just so totally and completely understood. And a friend of mine who's a sociologist said there was a study done, and you'll love this. The study was that they went to various countries to see how often they touched. So they went to Italy. Within 1 second, they were touching each other and gesturing and touching and, at the table and drinking their wine and, their hors d'oeuvres, and they were touching every second practically. And then they went to France, and it was like every few seconds they were touching each other, they were acknowledging each other. And then they went to Greece, it was the same thing, and they were just gesturing. Opa and all the wonderful energies that are out there. Every minute they were touching each other. And then they went to England. And he said, and we're still waiting. And I said, my experience of the English has been wonderful. And I always meet people who like to hug. And I had a couple that just got married that day, saw me with all my luggage, got me, to where I was supposed to go because I was clueless. Got me to where I was supposed to go, got me a cab, the whole thing. I said, and I happened to have 2 of my 14-karat gold angels that I gave them. And said, you are my angels, I don't even know your name, but you got me handled, thank you. They said, well, we just thought maybe, you sort of looked like an American. And maybe you weren't real clear. I said, I was clueless. I was like, looking all around. And this was at the train station in London. So energetically, my experience of the English, and I think that when Diana made such a difference in that culture, I was there one year, I was speaking at Oxford, and my daughter and I went to Kensington, and it happened to be the weekend in August of her anniversary of her passing and transcendence. And I mean miles and miles on the fence, poetry, candles, flowers, altars in her honor, and I thought, she brought so much love to the English. She was the heart of the feminine that the English needed, where the Queen is it's all about her masculine energy. And she gave so much to that culture and that energy that I think she shifted it. She was a game changer. She said, I'm bulimic, I have issues. She stood right up and said who she was, what she was dealing with, and how hard it was for her to be in that environment because she was so sensitive and so loving. And when we stand up and we disclose who we are, it's not about ego. It's about self-disclosure is a common humanity. That we're all human. That each and every one of us feels that humanity. And when I go through something, I always share it out of this is what I've learned, this is what I went through, and that we're all subject to this. And when we're, into denial and acting like everything's fine, when the bottom's falling out, you need to acknowledge that this is where I am at this moment. Like the old Christian Science. There's a story about the man who went to a Christian Scientist and said, my wife, they said she's dying. He said, well, we will pray for her. And they said, because she just thinks she's ill. So they prayed, he went back, they said, she's even more ill. He said, well, she just thinks she's more ill, and we'll keep praying. And the third time he went back, and he said, well, how's your wife? And he said, she thinks she's dead. I know it's dark humor. But there are times that we need to acknowledge what is going on in our lives so that we can move past it, right? And so in the almost 40 years of my ministry, I've just grown so much from that 30-year-old girl that took over and founded the Santa Clarita Church of Religious Science, and where my husband passed away the first year. And then coping with being a single mother, and I went to San Diego, and everything transformed there for me. And all those wonderful experiences that really create who and what we are. So today, when we sage, we're going to go outside after the offering, and we're going to sage, and we're going to release all that no longer serves us and embody all that does. All cause, effect, record, and memory of that which no longer serves us is returned to its native nothingness from whence it came, because in truth, it is neither person, place, nor thing. It is only the life and the energy that we have given into it. So I'm ready to let it all go, to let go and let God do what God does best by means of each and every one of us who heard the call and answered, because that's what makes all the difference. So today I'm so pleased to be with you. I love you, each and every one of you. And I know where we're going, don't you? Where are we going?